So then it becomes a concept of what's your personal, and I know I'm lying, but like I said, your personal, like, do you have a problem with just the existence, or are you more like us where it's just you're tired of people preaching at you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just going, whoa, 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 you know. I'm one of those people, I lean toward the presence doesn't bother me.
No.
As long as I can ignore it. The key part is as long as I can ignore it.
It's when they make it the center of the episode, or like they said, a life lesson, lecture. You know.
Then you're like, well, now you're annoying me because both of us just tend to ignore the parts of something we don't like if we're enjoying ourselves.
Well, I don't have any problem with that. Existing.
It raises questions if I think about it too much.
I just have a problem with having to shove in my face.
I mean, it's biologically impossible, so I usually raise a question if I overthink it, which is why I ignore it.
Yeah.
Because then I start going, well, when? How long? Which? Who? Where? Adopted? What? Is it or not?
Oh, wait, yeah, no, that...
It starts raising a bunch of questions,
That part of it brings a lot of,
So I tend to ignore it and just go, I don't want to know the story. Because you know what? The answer wouldn't be satisfying.
Yeah.
You'd just be like, okay, they have to come up with something.
I mean, and usually it's something that's not even scientific. It's something.
Usually it's the I one point wasn't and now I am, and don't make me get my soapbox out.
Or the whole test tube thing. It's like, well, you still gotta have.
Yeah, it gets weird.
So, anyway, we'll move past that. Let's actually get to the show here.
Let's put that soapbox away.
Yeah. All right. What up, Dicejunkies? I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And Bloodaxe is taking care of some family business, so he was not able to make it today. So it's just the two of us. Sorry, guys. But
I talk enough for everybody.
You do. Trust me, I know. Trying to get a word in edgewise is painful at times.
You're just antisocial.
Oh, well, there is that, too.
I tried to play Path Exile 2 with this Joker. He could barely last 10 minutes.
You weren't playing it right, dude. What? You weren't playing it right. Look. I have a very strong set of skills.
I was watching you play. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't going to say it, but you brought it up. I'm like, I'm not playing right. I'm playing great.
I couldn't play right because you were screwing up my play style.
Well, it's harder to screw up my play style. Who's playing right? I can play the co-op game and still be able to play the co-op game.
Yeah.
You're the only person that's playing Dude, it's an online game. You're the only person I know who will play an MMO and get messed up if he sees other people. There was a game. What game was it that you literally stopped playing? Not because other people were even doing anything. It's just their presence walking around your town annoyed you. Just seeing them got on your nerves. And I'm like, I think it was Diablo. I think you were annoyed with Diablo and people running around.
It did annoy me, but that's not why I quit playing that game.
True. There's a lot of good reasons to stop playing Diablo. By the way, little aside here for the gaming people. God, I see why you did not enjoy the other classes. Playing Monk hurt. Oh my God, I didn't realize that the Witch and the Sorcerer is such a better starting class. It's a miserable, I'm sorry, as much as I'm enjoying Path of Exile 2, it's a miserable melee experience. People are not, especially when you're not even playing the big tough warrior, that was horrible. And the skill they chose, why didn't they give me the Frost line? Or Killing Bomb? No, default skill, I died to the first boss 3 times. I didn't even know you could die to him when I played my other character. I'm like, this dude can kill you? I didn't even know that. Played Monk.
Oh,
he's off. I mean, thank goodness for you putting so much level 1 skill gems and crap in the dang, guild chest. Because, dude, I was too dumb to save any. And I immediately got Killing Bomb and said, okay, you know what? I don't care. I'm playing a Monk. I'm using Unearth. I'm using a Necromancer skill to get through. That's how bad the experience was. I'm basically going, Unearth. I'm still using Unearth. That might be what you put it in there. And guess what? When I'm done, I'm going to put it back in there. That's the new starting skill. With every class you play, get Unearth. It is the best starting skill to get through, especially if you're melee. It hurt. It physically hurt me, man. It was painful.
Oh, yeah.
We've been Path of Exile 2, as you can tell.
I know.
Quick score before we get, because we're going to get locked into this for a while.
Yeah. I mean, we got Game of the Year stuff, but
I mean, it's early access, but as an early access, what do you think of it?
I mean, I will say, dude, I have enjoyed the game. I get, with it being early access, there are several things I thought they could have done differently. One of the things I know we talked about this some with the skills getting changed a lot, and they're being nerfed and stuff like that. Honestly, early access, while you're tweaking all this stuff, and honestly, early access is when you want the most people to use the most variety of builds and stuff like that. You should just unlock skill resets until the game's fully released.
Yeah, even
and you're sort of more set.
He said that like a lot of class optimizations needed. I agree. I'm a little bit more middle of the road. Gino's a lot more forgiving, but the thing is, I played a game early access from a little old indie company called Last Epoch, and what shocks me is while Path of Exile was a smooth playing game, except, man, with the monk, dude. Oh, God. I did not know the dodge mechanic was that janky because I was a necromancer. I didn't have to depend on it. But, Jesus, if you have to depend on the dodge roll, it's not pleasant if you actually are, like, dependent on it. But I think the game's got a lot of potential. It's very well voice acted. The vistas are very interesting. The enemy density gets a little crazy in the later chapters, man. There are some sections where I would fight, like, almost 50 or more enemies, which is a little bit cluttery. That's Diablo-ish, and I wasn't a big fan of that in Diablo. I feel like you should be able to do more with less. You don't need to just throw so many enemies on the screen that you can't physically move. And yes, that is a real problem. With the monk, again, I ran into that problem. I know every complaint that we said when we talked before that I said I don't know what the problem is. I now understand after playing a melee character, but that's my thing. They got so much right in this game, and they do everything right that Last Epoch did wrong. Like, the game plays smooth. The targeting is fairly smooth. I don't feel it's that clunky. I don't know how well the targeting would work if I was trying to do really precise things like I had trouble with doing on Last Epoch. I haven't grabbed any of those abilities. But the ability to take the sticks and aim one way while moving another, massive improvement. Just a good playing game.
And WASD movement has been a joy for
Oh, God, did that click, yeah. But here's the problem. That's about it. I have not been impressed with a skill in this game, really. Just like, and again, I know I'm comparing it to a flashier game, but the minions...
I think you have rose-tinted glasses. I still challenge you to go back and play.
Dude, I'm telling you, I spent a lot of time on that game. The minion AI was better. The skills were way more impressive. You just have less rose-tinted glasses because WASD wasn't in there.
Because I wasn't playing a necromancer?
Yeah, honestly. No, seriously. I remember people commenting that even on other builds, that their minion builds were amazing across every class. But I also think that, dude, if a game you can't even move correctly, it's hard to appreciate anything.
Yeah.
I'll defend them on that. It didn't have WASD movement. That's an atrocity. But I bet you if they have it now, you go back and play. I'll tell you what. We'll do the challenge. Next weekend, we're going to go. Let's go back and see if they have it. If they fixed it, let's go back and play it. And you come back and tell me what you think.
Yeah, because I know one of the movement issues I had being a mouse and keyboard and having to click movement there, they also had it where... when you're moving around, if you drag your mouse over the exit, it would exit the map.
Oh, yeah, I kept doing that to you. Yeah, you had a lot of movement issues.
And a bunch of other weird stuff
I had a lot of trouble with the auto-targeting. Honestly, your issue is more likely to be fixed than mine.
And then because I'm also a full map explorer, every time that happened, they reset the map behind you. There was no going back to the... and finish your exploring of a map, which is another thing that annoyed me with that other game. with I love the saved instances that Path of Exile 2 implemented for the maps, where you can clear a map. You can even reset the map to do a certain thing again, and then go back to your previous saved instance of the map. That's a nice quality of life they added. So they did do some nice
like
tweaking.
I said, it's literally just in that the classes don't really pop.
Yeah.
But the game itself is very well done.
The gems aren't as versatile as in Path of Exile 1, I thought. Plus the leveling of the gems, I'm not really a fan of having to find the level up gems to go. I like the fact that in like Path of Exile 1, you leveled your gems by using your gems. So I mean, there are definitely things that I'm like, I'm not fond of in it, but it's a new game. It's a different game. Path of Exile 1, somebody mentioned, Path of Exile 1 is still a valid game
to go back and play.
So Path of Exile 2 being different should not be necessarily a negative, because it's not Path of Exile 1.
Yeah, like I do miss the more advanced linking strategies that were available. And the fact that when they did put out a meta gem, meta is basically the old linking system where this gem triggers other gems, they immediately slammed it and got the meta made not the meta. And a lot of people were looking forward to those gems, so when they unlocked them, the fact that like within almost 48 hours they slammed them, it caused a big rush of negative. I was right, I guessed correctly. I found out, yes, they got review bombed. And I warned you. You thought I told you, I said, dude, people aren't going to be happy. Especially people from the previous game.
I get that. I agreed that people weren't going to be happy. My point is I don't see the point in not being super happy about things in early release. I think people bashing games in early release instead of just being constructive commenting in forums and stuff like that is a little...
I believe hitting the scores is unnecessary.
Yeah.
I can understand the frustration, though, because this isn't a case of a game issue. This is a case of a choice. They chose to do something. It did severely impact the end-game players. Because remember, I'm watching builds, and it caused an influx of people respecking.
But, I mean, my thing is that I would rather come to this community board, put something in there than to trash the game by giving it a bad...
poor review in the game gives the wrong impression.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to review the game and I were to give it a score, I would probably give it, on a scale of 10, about a 7. Because, like I said, it wins in so many categories. No. But, for me, it loses in categories that do matter to me. In the end, the way I interact with your game, it's great to have a beautiful world. It's great to have good voice acting. I like the fact that the witch interacts with each enemy differently. Like other witches, undead. She even beats one of the bosses and goes, I'm going to come back and raise that when I'm more powerful. She says what I was thinking. Like, I'm going to get one of those. That stuff's really cool.
Is that one that left the body behind?
No, not that one. It was a really user one. Oh, yeah, when I fought the giant, she said, you might be my largest victim. And I just fell out laughing. Well done. But ultimately, the gaming experience, I experience it through my character. That's my avatar in your world. You want to eventually start to feel like your abilities are cool. It's because you're looking for a dopamine hit. I've been enjoying this game, but I'll honestly say I've had no dopamine hit. I've enjoyed myself, but I haven't jumped out of my chair and went, hell yeah.
But
and I do that.
You're not even halfway through the level. Or you may be now, but...
Act 3, about halfway.
Through the leveling.
Oh, the leveling, yeah. Yeah, but I can see what's left. Dude, you can literally see the whole tree. I've looked. I've only got 2 rows left, and they're not looking much more impressive. So I can even see the skills I haven't unlocked and the support and the spirit. See, you don't know how much I am a number cruncher. I plan. I've looked all the way down the road.
Yeah, I don't trust your math in Path of Exile, dude. I will tell you, Path of Exile math is harder than any other math you will do.
Dude, you know when I told you I was going to respec for damage? I'm cakewalking the game, dude. I don't even use half my skills now. I'm good. I'm him. You don't know me. I literally ain't even casting but 1 or 2 skills and walking off now.
But yeah, anyway, as far as, I give it a 7 as well. But here's my thing. And I only give it a 7 verbally because it's early release.
Oh, no, I wouldn't put that out this early, no.
With where it's at now, it has a 7 potential. Now, they can do a lot of things that can raise that score.
They could hit a 9, I believe, with this game. They could.
But
I don't think you know it 10,
from what I see right now, I give it, it's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. And, I mean, like I said, I don't see the oomph. Maybe there's something I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's another thing that's the weirdest thing they failed on. Why are the uniques so lame?
I mean,
because we got a lot in the guild box, and I went through them all, and I've literally never bothered using a unique.
I mean, the uniques, I don't think they're lame. There's some interesting ones.
Dude, my yellows are better.
Now,
I'm not using
yellows are going to be better.
They're not supposed to be. The uniques are the final tier.
No. You are miscalculating there.
Oh.
Path of Exile, the uniques have never been the final tier.
Oh, wow. I can tell.
Uniques usually have some unique characteristic.
Not really. That's what's been bothering me. Like, I get it, but the things they do are so numberish instead of interesting.
Well, no, and that's the thing.
But I'd rather they did something interesting.
Usually it's something that you can exploit through some other manner, though. Like, if you combo that unique function with something else, it can usually end up to some interesting things.
You are 100% correct, but that's what I'm trying to say.
But you usually only in a build, you usually only use like 1 or 2 uniques.
Well, that's my thing, though. They're very numbery. The uniques, literally, you would never be able to tell if somebody had a unique on.
I'll tell you right now.
They don't tend to do anything visual.
The uniques,
or flashy.
Some of them are broken. Like, you threw a wand in the and one of the things it does is it leeches your life for every time you cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
It does not.
Well, not in a negligible way, probably.
No, it just doesn't.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I get all the power without the negative of the unique.
Well, unfortunately for me, the armor I put in there was using up all my dang mana and killed me several times. And
I'm over here just spamming the hell out of this thing. I'm like, it has not touched my life. It hasn't touched my
By the way, to show you
shield.
how much he's not a team player in his own way, though really the gems have helped. He's great on gems. This man's packing the guild with gems. But, like, I have found him super wands and stays. He's like, run around this, and I go, dude, could you find me a scepter with some spirit on it?
I found you 2 unique scepters.
The unique, okay, that's not your fault. Uniques are trash, trust me. I checked both of them.
I found you a +2 minion scepter.
I saw that. That was a nice try. It really was. And it's not your fault. The current scepter I have has minion damage, minion health, and minion level. It's insane. Oh, sorry. We're getting way. Okay, now we're just really getting the game.
Yeah.
All right. So the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is part of the show.
True,
I mean,
yeah.
Point is, Path of Exile, it's fun. Now, my suggestion is
wait for it to be free.
Either wait for it to be free, or just know what you're getting into. You're getting into an early release game.
Because
they were very clear about that when we bought it, but it does seem like some of the people talking about the game do not take it that
here's
way.
The best way to put it. If you're looking at this and you're looking at another game that's in that $30 range, like Space Marines 2 on sale, I actually have to say this. Don't get mad. I have to say, grab Space Marines 2. You'll probably have more fun. And this game's still cooking. But that's the reason why. No, it's because it's still cooking. And honestly, I kind of wish I had given it that time because they pulled out right before the early release skill I was looking for. Now, this is from me. They pulled one of the big necromancer skills that lets you raise a certain monster as an undead servant, and it's actually that monster, out right before the early access.
See, I mean, you get absorbed in stuff, too. Like me, I paid the $30 mostly because I like to support the company because I do like the company that does Path of Exile, too.
I bought so many Call of Duty packs. Well, not a lot, but I bought several Call of Duty packs just to put money in the game.
And, I mean, so as far as that goes, I could have just paid for the game and just not played it and waited till,
I said for other people
you get super absorbed into a game, which has caused me to play it more than I probably would have.
So now I'll smoke you too hard.
Yeah, because I
switched to Monk.
I played some yesterday. I quit about 7:30, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get caught up in Q's win stream So I got
switched to another class, and from the way it looks, it's going to be slow going because, God, this is a painful experience of mine. But no, but notice what I said before we jump off it. I said, if you are picking, dude, we got decent jobs. I'll go buy me Space Marine 2, you Space Marine 2. I'll buy Bloodaxe Space Marine 2, and he ain't even got a PC. We don't care. Like, we're middle-aged people with jobs. We have a day job. $30 game ain't nothing. But if you were in a situation where you had to make a choice, I would say get a complete game like Space Marines 2, or if you're on, or maybe Astrobot if you're on PlayStation. But I would not say to grab this just yet at its current state, unless you know you like Path of Exile, or you're going to be one of these people complaining.
Yeah.
Because that's why they're complaining. They thought they were getting a full, complete game. Yeah. We know we weren't. I'm not mad. I'm still playing it. Well, I hate Monk, but I'm gonna still do it because I'm a maniac. He knows I'll have a level 20 Monk in a few days.
Well, speaking of day jobs, I'll tell you some people who should probably get a new day job, and that is whoever does these Game of the Year awards.
It's a guy. I forgot his name. There's one guy. They talk about him like a dog. They've been talking about his butt all.
Oh man, like Astrobot, really? Game of the Year is Astrobot.
And with its number of copies sold, it's a game that did not get played by a lot of people. I know that's weird and you shouldn't go purely on sales, but to me, the Game of the Year should have hit a decent number of hands.
Yeah.
Because you didn't say the PlayStation Game of the Year or PC, you said the Game of the Year. It's not even nearly the top-selling PlayStation exclusive game. So it's a weird choice because I can think of so many games that sold more. In fact, every other single game except maybe Metaphor Event, and I might be wrong, go look see how much of that sold, Metaphor, is more people played it. So I'm like, the least played game that's up on this, potentially, because we know Elden Ring had more people, sold more copies. We know Black Myth, and I heard Final Fantasy Rebirth did really, really well. It's an oddity to me for, like, the least successful game as far as reaching the most people. So it beat So it looks like it beat Metaphor Refantasio, which I'm not surprised. It's a turn-based RPG, but we know it didn't touch Black Myth because it only got up to, what was it, 3 million? 2 million for Astrobot?
Yeah, it was something like that.
So it's a really low number compared to, like, even some games that weren't on that list, and we're just like, I think the Game of the Year should represent, I don't know, the player's choice. We'll get into that later.
Yeah. But, I mean, so Game of the Year was Astrobot. For some reason, Best Game Direction was also Astrobot. Best Narrative was Metaphor, which, I could see that one, I guess.
I've been told that game is a really good RPG.
Yeah. Best Art Direction, also Metaphor. It had a unique art style. Best Score and Music was Final Fantasy VII.
How you gonna beat it, man? They still got some of the classics.
I'm not surprised the Final Fantasy VII Final Fantasy game would get music.
Is the Game Awards guy that created it.
Best Audio Design was Hellblade 2, Senua Saga.
I heard it was a lovely little movie.
And Senua Saga had the
She's a wonderful actress.
Best Performance.
They should make a game about it. I'm teasing.
Innovation and accessibility.
I keep hearing that this is a really good game. If you can get over the fact that their unique character art choice for the cover, for the prince himself, I've heard the game is really good. I keep hearing that, including from people who don't like the redesign. So we try to be fair here. I keep hearing that. Now, I think it's a PlayStation game and it's from Ubisoft, so you couldn't beat me into playing it. But I want to put out that I've heard good things about it.
Well, I think you can get it on Steam as well. Let's see.
But I want Ubisoft to go out of business. I'm kidding. I want them to sell it to someone else who will make good games again. Maybe Capcom. They've been doing all right.
Was it The Lost Crown?
Yeah, that should be the last one. Yeah, very positive.
Yeah, so very positive on here. Yeah, no real big negative. 85%. That's good for Steam. 85.
I've heard really good things about it. Like, it has
with 90% current.
It has caught a little bit of my eye. If it wasn't a side scroller, I probably would snap it up. But I don't do the side scrollers. If I did that, I'd do the ninja. Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like it may be deserving of something. I don't know about innovation and accessibility. It's not a category I really follow.
Well, I mean, we don't qualify.
Yeah.
You'd have to be somebody that needs accessibility.
Yeah. Games for Impact, never.
You know what the Games for Impact category is.
I know. Best ongoing is Helldivers 2.
Yeah, because Space Marines came out this year. Because that was my first thought, but then he reminded me that this category you can't get this category if you came out that year. You're a new game. I'm curious if Space Marines will be able to keep the momentum and knock them out next year. But beating Fortnite to me was impressive. And I'm surprised Diablo 4 even got nominated. They must have bought somebody. They must have sent someone's kids to college. George Keeley's kids are going
Fortnite may have won this if they released the OG stuff sooner. Because they recently released the OG stuff and it spiked Fortnite back up.
Well, the original Fortnite was beloved. It's amazing what'll happen when you go back to what people like.
Yeah. Best community support, Baldur's Gate 3.
Did you hear about the speech that the Larian creator gave?
I did not.
We'll chat about it, okay? Well, I say he got up and spoke and basically gave a big speech about how you should stop making games to appease a very small crowd. Instead, you should treat your devs better, treat your gamers and customers better, and you'll make a good game. And people were pretty upset about it because he's basically saying, stop doing the thing you're doing, Ubisoft.
Well, dude,
EA.
I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, where it does have a lot of stuff in there, it's stuff if you're not going down that path, you will miss it.
Dude,
you
I
have
know
to
more
be
about what's
wanting
in that game than probably anybody because you know how I follow it. And you know what? Game's good. And all it really is that they don't tell you no to anything.
Yeah.
But you make the choice.
Yeah.
There's only a couple times you might see something because you're too nosy. But you can literally dodge it.
Yeah,
like if you hear weird sounds coming from a barn, might want to skip it. Or if you're like me with a black sense of humor, you'll find it hilarious. Because honestly, that stuff doesn't bother me at the time. Mm-hmm. I find it funny more than anything else. But no, choice, I'll never hate on a game for giving you a choice, even if it's to be really weird. I'm never going to say that's a bad thing. And that's what they did. It's a massive difference between this and the fact that in Concord, I would rather have played as a trash can. No, not the robot that looks like one. An actual trash can than any character in that game offered to play.
I mean, it's why Dragon Age 3 was able to get away with some bull love,
They snuck that one up on you. Drinking with a friend does not lead to you changing your orientation. He's like, yo, man, you want to hang out and drink some more? Sure. Next cutscene, I'm like, reset. I turned the freaking Xbox off, went back and said, this game better not have saved. I think I started over. I just said, I can't look at myself in the mirror anymore. How drunk did you get, man? They didn't even put a little heart next to it back then. They normally give you a little romance option. He's just like, yeah, man, we talking about Krev, and I liked Krev. I'm like, yeah, man, that's why you want to live, you live. And we drink. He's like, oh, man, you going to go to bed or you going to drink some more? And I'm like, I'm going to stay up drinking. And worst of all, you get caught with him. Like, it's out. Everybody walks in. Oh. And I'm just like, but it was funny. But notice we're laughing.
Yeah.
It was also done for humor.
No, it was done well.
And it taught me a lesson. Now in games, when they say, do you take another drink? I really check to see who I'm with.
Yeah, makes you think twice about some of those Knights of Finians.
I don't go to Finians alone. Though apparently you're only a semi-trustworthy friend to keep me away from people being weird. But I still need to beat you up for that one of these days. But and I was apparently just getting flirted with and didn't know, and this dude didn't tell me. And I'm thinking like, man, I'm popular tonight. And it's like, not in the way you want to be. But no, but yeah, even then it was funny.
Yeah.
But this was preachy. The last game was preachy.
Yeah, and that's something we'll get into in a bit too, about preachy.
Yeah, and then Flynn's talking about player choice. Yeah, we're going to get there because we had I went on a mini rant.
Well, no, I think you're talking about with Baldur's Gate 3, it's players' choice.
Oh, I thought he meant the war. We'll get to that.
But maybe.
Yeah.
But best independent game was Balatro. Also
best debut indie
game.
Balatro.
Best mobile game was Balatro. Best VR AR Batman Arkham Shadow.
A point for the OG Batman. Rip it. Rest in peace, Suicide. Did we cover that? The Suicide Squad ended?
We talked about that. I think that was.
We talked about it. Suicide Squad's finally done. They're not doing another season after this one, just in case. Recap, because I don't remember if we covered it.
Yeah, because it was like it's already on sale for like
best
10 bucks.
action game, Black Myth Wukong.
Now here, Black Myth Wukong got best action game. This got another Astrobot win.
I don't think it should have got action adventure, dude. I've seen it. It's a platformer and it's a lighthearted game.
Best RPG got Metaphor.
Definitely.
I would have possibly fought for Infinite Wealth if they wouldn't have locked their
new
game plus behind
a paywall.
A paywall.
How do you think you get Infinite Wealth? I would if you can push for Infinite Wealth, I would have pushed for one of the first two.
Yeah.
Honestly, only because I haven't played Rebirth, even though I hear it's really good, but I just really hate Sony.
My only problem with
with
Elden Ring is it's a DLC.
No, I probably would have went for Dragon's Dogma 2 over Like a Dragon.
I didn't really feel like a DLC deserved to be. There should be a category for DLC.
I agree. Best DLC would be an excellent.
Yeah.
Best DLC / expansion should be. Dude, they had indie, then debut indie, then mobile indie. They might as well. You know what I mean? Have a DLC.
Best fighting Tekken 8. Not a lot of options there.
Dragon Ball was the only one that even had a hope.
Yeah.
And it didn't, obviously, because it isn't really a tournament game. Like, you're not going to see, you're not going to probably ever see people doing serious tournaments for money of it. So, currently it's Tekken 8, because I don't even know if Street Fighter's even doing tournaments, and Mortal Kombat's a joke.
And Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection is a re-release of a bunch of...
Yeah.
Where it does have some good quality in there, the Marvel vs. Capcom stuff, there was some interesting...
It's fun.
Just,
not well balanced, though.
Best Family, Astrobot.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that some of these other games didn't win. So it's more of a I'm glad Princess Peach Showtime. And
I'm honestly surprised that Mario Party got these. Usually anytime Mario Party's even on the board for a family.
Nintendo clearly wasn't going to put out a bunch of money to win these.
Best Sim Strategy was Frostpunk 2.
I can't speak on that. That would be you.
I tried Frostpunk 2. It was all right. Manor Lords to me, probably, but that's my pick. Let's see.
I was shocked that short aside, shocked none of the football games made it on here because out of the sport.
I will say I've heard a lot of people praising this game.
Well, also soccer's used, or is it football in other countries is really popular, but still the Madden games. Now, little aside, we are eyeballing the WWE 2K24 because I can't remember the last time a wrestling game from WWE wasn't like awful. Still fun, but also awful really rated. So we might grab it for some like couch co-op, you know? Because we looked it up. It's got really good reviews.
And it's on sale on Steam right now for a pretty good price.
The right pack. Get the right pack.
Best multiplayer. Here we got Helldivers again. Helldivers
beat out Space Marines. Yeah. Huh? I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention when we got this. Whoa, it beat out Call of Duty.
Dude, Helldivers...
Well, I'm not in the multiplayer scene. I'm in the zombie scene.
Helldivers took... I think Helldivers sort of came out of left field. Nobody was really expecting that game to do as well as it did. And they put in a shit ton of effort. I give them that.
They managed to pull them back. They're good at pulling their audience back after pissing them off. I got it because, man, at one point they were really going down.
They fought the PSN login.
Oh, well, then congratulations. If you keep doing that, then you win in my book because PlayStation can rot in hell, which is California.
Best adaptations. This gets into
no contest.
Yeah, I agree.
Contest. Oh, did Like a Dragon Yakuza come out already? Did we miss that?
What's that?
Did we miss the Like a Dragon Yakuza series?
Yeah, I knew it came out. We just hadn't had a chance to watch it. I meant to suggest that with the Saki.
Yeah. Actually, that could be the Friday guys' night. Instead of anime, we could watch that.
Yeah,
I'd watch it until I decide I can't handle it anymore.
Pairing it with Saki is probably cultural appropriation of us.
Most anticipated game? Are you serious?
Grand Theft Auto?
No, bullshit. Monster Hunter Wilds. Fuck you.
Bullshit. Where wins meet?
Well, for us. But no, Grand Theft Auto 6 is in the middle of so much controversy right now. And is getting so much hate. This is definitely a bot or a...
I don't know, dude. Grand Theft Auto is still highly anticipated.
I think Monster Hunter... Well, you know what? They haven't done a play test. I'm willing to bet that if they do an early play test of this game, it will not hit Monster Hunter Wilds numbers. I think Monster Hunter Wilds...
Maybe.
That's Q's prediction. I think Monster Hunter Wilds is more anticipated. I really do.
We'll see.
But Ghost of Yotai should have never even been there.
It was obviously going to be between those two. I agree, though.
Yeah,
between Monster
absolutely.
Hunter and Grand Theft Auto.
Like, I don't even...
Yeah, and this esports, I'm not esports.
I don't know any of these
Esports,
people.
yeah. Sorry, esports people. And then I don't know what's going on there. I guess that's your player's choice.
Yeah, the player's choice is Black Myth Wukong, and I immediately, this is what we were saying we're going to get into, was like, wait a minute. The game of the year is not the player's choice. That is literally the best sign to me of how much this is not the correct award show to be following. At least in the sense of the game of the year is, like I said, one of like amongst the lowest selling of all the titles nominated, and it's not the game that people chose and actually played it. Yeah. They went with people who weren't the players.
Yeah, and Black Myth Wukong studio CEO questions the Game Awards selections criteria after Game of the Year miss, reflecting on pre-written acceptance speech from 2 years ago. So yeah, he basically said, you know, he sort of thinks dice are loaded.
It is. No, Astro, I'm sorry. I could have understood some of the other games that are bigger franchises. Astrobot is a kid's platformer game. It should not have beat Black Myth Wukong. It should not have beat Final Fantasy Rebirth. It should not have beat Metaphor ReZero. Well, maybe Metaphor ReZero. That's more niche. But that's my thing. So's Astrobot. Mm-hmm. It's a great game. Insanely fun. I even enjoy watching it played. But it's very niche. It's something that I don't even think anybody over, like I said, there are obviously adults who play those games too. But the vast majority of gamers, I don't think it's their cup of tea.
Well, like you said, he was
and
sort
it's
of
exclusive.
He was upset. He talks about Long Journey as being one of the first ever for a Chinese game to get nominated for all these things, and but he did say, you know, securing the Player's Voice Award especially brought him some comfort, you know.
Well, yeah, because that's the real award. That's the one that we said was the best game. 18 million plus copies, dude. More than 6 times the other game. I mean, of course it's got the player's choice. More people would vote for it. More people played it. That's why, like I said, it's like, how do you even get Game of the Year when there couldn't have been that many people voting for you? You didn't reach that many people compared to your competition. That implies that the voting is, which we do know for a fact, the voting's not done by players at all. It's voted by a panel of well-selected individuals.
Yeah.
And I think you pay to get on the panel, so.
Yeah, I think what they said, like 10% of the weight is allowed to the
people that paid the
voters.
Money. I mean, hey, dude.
Well, no, to just the general public. I mean, voting. Yeah, it's like 10%.
We're 100% of the player base. We're 10% of the voting on Game of the Year.
Yeah.
You put your math together. But hey, I don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Keeley. He's got a good hustle. These suckers pay him a lot of money for a fake award. They really do. Because I've never picked a game I'm going to play based on Game of the Year. I just get it to see if the game I like made it. I've never went, I should try that because it was a game. Hell no. In fact, I've not liked most of the Game of the Years that have came out for the last few years. So I've been like the opposite. I'm like, I ain't playing that bull crap because it's usually a Sony game and it's usually a trash one. Like, it's usually a Naughty Dog game, and Naughty Dog can... I think I've literally dropped all the F-bombs I can in this episode.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for Game of the Year, they say the nominees are selected by a jury of 100 global media and influencer outlets.
So the media chooses the Game of the Year.
And then it says, how are the winners selected? So... they have their jury, which does 90% of the weight, and then fan is 10%.
And that's why he's trying to get that copyright or whatever you call it, because or patent or whatever it is. I don't know which one it is. Somebody more. I don't feel like thinking. But basically, he was trying to get the Game Awards name and all that like locked down. It's because other outlets are talking about starting their own Game of the Year awards thing because it's so easy to beat this. You just let the vote actually be people, and you're automatically a more legit award show to me.
I mean, I do agree that you can't 100% go by people votes because then you get engineered. I mean, you get engineered a completely different way, Or it's going to be the China game every time when you have, China voting for their...
No, don't do that. Don't assume that they would just vote for their game. That's not fair. I'm not going to say that the Chinese people would only vote for a Chinese game.
They'll probably get a check on their social score if they don't.
I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, when it got attacked for his speech, a lot of Chinese fans of Black Myth Wukong, a lot of Chinese gamers came out in defense of Baldur's Gate 3.
I jest. But at the same time, there are other ways of engineering votes when you have just that.
I trust them more than I do this panel, though.
Well, no, and that's the thing. I mean, now...
I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm saying it's going to be better than this. 90% you bought your vote.
But there's definitely... like I said, there's definitely better ways of doing it. And I also do agree that, there are some criteria you may do that's not just the best sold game. I mean, there could be other criteria you want to add in there, but at the same time... Yeah, it does feel like the Game Awards is just sort of ball.
Yeah, well, that's my thing. Because they even said it once, we're looking at this and how innovative and how it changes the community. And I'm like, none of that has anything to do with the best game of the year. I'm going to be honest. None of that. It's a freaking game. It's not a novel. It's not a lesson being taught. It's a game. Its only real value is as its entertainment value. If it could do other stuff, that's great. But its first value as a game is entertainment value. And if you don't understand that, you're an idiot. It's a game. It's literally something that we should have stopped playing a long time ago when we stopped being children. It's a game. It's pastime. It doesn't need to teach you anything. If it does, that's great. That shouldn't be weighted higher than entertainment value because you ultimately bought it to be entertained.
Yeah.
So, to me, entertainment value should be easily 60% or more of the weight of the game. Other stuff, great. I've had games that have changed my point of view, made me really feel some things, but they also were fun. And entertainment value to me is going to be 60% of the weighting minimum. For these people, it's 0% just about. I mean, they're weighing it on other factors, and that's to me means you get games of the year where you have a game that barely anybody played as game of the year, or you have a game that only 50%. Well, no. I'd say probably about 60% of the gaming base can even get access to, instead of a game that reached the largest number of people, was enjoyed by the most number of people, is still being played, still has a high engagement and activity.
Oh, yeah.
Because also the game's short. Astrobot's a really short game, by the way. It's not meant. It's not a full size game. It's meant to mess around.
Now, alongside the top their picks, what we all really were waiting for the Game Awards for
the commercials
is the commercials. Yeah, I mean it's the Super Bowl. I mean, we wanted to see what the game companies were going to.
They had Snoop Dogg, not Kendrick Lamar. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. Because I want to hear Not Like Us. I don't care what anybody say. I want to hear Not Like Us blared out at the Super Bowl. I will sing the whole song along with it.
So, yeah. Trailer time. Big releases announced. Controversy, of course, as always. Whenever anything is announced, the internet picks at it like the vultures we are.
I think it was played up a bit. I didn't see nearly as controversial as we did at the last few game, them showing their upcoming games to do. Compared to the Sony Expo and some of the others, this was nothing. I'm gonna be honest.
So one of the first big announcements or trailers was the Witcher 4. Once again,
No Country for Old Witchers
goes for. This is following Ciri. We all know Geralt is out. Ciri is in.
They've been building up to it. I
So
do think
you
it's
had
not
a lot of
though.
you have some complaints there because of that. I do say yeah, I sort of saw. I mean, we all saw it going
they've been doing it for a while.
since the very beginning, pretty much.
But it's like trying to have Gohan take over Goku.
Yeah.
You foreshadowed it. You've been trying it. It's not going to work. It's not, but hey.
I don't know.
But they did. But it's not an ass pull. Is what
I'm
trying
not
to
going to say it's not going to work, dude. I mean, it has
the
potential.
Witcher audience are friggin' Geralt raving fanboys and fangirls. I don't think they want anyone else. And I get it. I'm a Goku main and a Brawly super. Actually OG Brawly 2 main. I don't really care about the other characters that much. They made a Piccolo series for Dragon Ball. I probably wouldn't watch it.
Now, I mean,
I like Piccolo.
I will say it was interesting watching because
Brawly.
a lot of the imagery they use in this fight are very reminiscent to previous imagery used in fights that Geralt had in previous games.
I mean, they're showing what else you learned from them.
I mean, down to how some of the cinematics are done, getting caught by the leg and hung up. We saw that.
Well, are you trying to imply that they just slapped Ciri's face on the Geralt's body? And then that's how they got the cutscenes?
I mean, dude, it's a valid tactic to try to bring in your previous crowd. I mean, we saw it with Star Wars. You know, when Disney redid Star Wars, they tried.
Just because Bloodaxe isn't here doesn't mean.
Well, no, they tried to redo a lot of the imagery from the first Star Wars. They overlapped a lot of the scenes and the behavior to how the first Star Wars started out.
Let's go pick up this orphan off of this desert planet who has the Force.
Yeah. And so that's why I was comparing it, is they did some of that with this trailer. You see, they sort of overlay a lot of the stylization from The Witcher with Geralt to the stylization
check it out.
of the
I gotta do
Witcher
this
with
for Bloodaxe.
Ciri.
Oh no, our orphan we picked up off the desert planet that has the Force is descended from a dark sider. It's completely original concept. It's very disturbing. What do we do?
But I mean,
the Darksider died through redemption.
that is done to try to trigger that nostalgia dopamine, you know, that trying to get you to relate and carry over.
Yeah.
Now, Star Wars, they failed at it. To me, in my opinion.
No, they failed.
Now, whether or not Witcher pulls it off, I don't know. I've not been a huge Witcher fan. I've loved the story. I've watched most of the games. I don't watch a lot of game content, but I really didn't care for how The Witcher played, so I mostly just sort of watched other people play it because I was interested in the story.
Geralt. Yeah. I find Geralt to be. I loved when Geralt was playable in Soul Calibur. He's a very fun character. I'm a fan of Geralt. I'm not a fan of the series as much as I'm a fan of this character that was added to our hero roster. And I look at my grand hero roster. I like Ciri though. Like if you were to say, what female character would you want to play in a fantasy game? What character? Ciri's high on my list. I like Witchers. I'd play a Ciri if I played Witcher games.
I mean, if we got a new Soul Calibur and
it was
they put in Ciri in it, that'd be cool. You know, I played Geralt in Soul Calibur 7.
I wish she was whoever had the Tekken instead of Clive.
Oh yeah, they had her to
Tekken.
a
much better
that would be cool.
Clive.
Yeah.
I'll fight for hope. The Phoenix.
Some people said they didn't like the new design of her character model. I mean, dude, I don't have any problem with it.
I rarely will do this. Because, yes, it does look different. I've seen them side by side, but I think it's more of an art style thing. Everybody's ugly.
Yeah.
Everybody's uglier in this game. All the characters are distinctively less attractive than they were. You know what I mean?
Additionally, we know all the stuff that Witchers do. I mean...
yeah, and they drink a lot of potions, so her looking tougher and more grizzled's fine. But let's move.
Yeah. Next one was the Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, which it's a Naughty Dog game, so that caused a lot of, there's a lot of preconceptions with Naughty Dog. I will say I didn't have a problem with the trailer myself looking at it. Yeah, I do get, where people were like, oh, look, you got another tough female. And then even the commander is like a female with the patch, which, I mean, honestly, the commander with the patch is such a played out trope. Female or male, I mean,
oh, no,
come on.
I honestly was just more going like, God, come on. Not even that it's a female, just it's a played out trope. I lost an eye in the war.
Yeah. Some people complained about her being sort of manly. I mean, she shaved her head, man. I didn't think she was that. I thought the model does not look bad in this, and the graphics does not look bad in this, personally. But now, as far as the game, I don't know what the game is. The play style, like, I mean, they don't really tell you much about what this game actually is. I mean, they show one sort of sci-fi fighting scene here with a blade.
Yeah.
I guess action.
To me, the biggest thing about this trailer, I mean, is it a odd
sci-fi
lead character design? Yes, it is. Now, it makes the character unique, actually. To me, the more interesting thing is how it's such a commercial. Like, my God, how much did Naughty Dog sell out?
Oh, God,
it's like she's wearing Reebok, she's on a Sony radio.
Yeah, she's
it's
driving
a
Porsche.
Like, I was more going like, my God, it's such a sellout.
You keep seeing, like, Sony's...
That's probably a Sony anime.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the anime.
But yeah, Sony, like, it's a commercial. But no, go to the Reeboks, because they show a pure... It's way near the end, dude.
Wait. I'm curious. Does that...
On the Razor? You can try to
make sure to see if the Razor had a brand on it. I don't see a brand on the Razor. So, yeah, but if you go to... now, here we've got a lot of probably things... 5 Aces Mastermind. You may be able to get some stuff out of that. But, I mean, there's also just a lot of blatant stuff. Once you get, let's see. Where was it? Here, okay. Here is where you start seeing, like, Sony on everything.
Yeah, she has. It was when she does the radio player. And I'm surprised that cup doesn't have a brand on it. But no, it's right when she pulls off, they zoom in and do just a pure Reebok shot. Go forward more if you want to catch that. Oh, you trying to get the radio player? Yeah, that pops up when she flies off.
Yeah, there's Sony.
It just says, oh yeah, man, they're tripping on the Sony, and probably, like, I'm pretty sure that's a real band. So probably also even the music. See?
Yeah, there's your.
Adidas.
I know Adidas,
but like. Adidas. And I mean, dude, they zoom in and do a full Adidas shot and go, so it's Adidas, it's Porsche,
a lot of branding.
Sony. So
and
I'm
it's sure there was more that we didn't catch,
So this is just a big old sellout commercial, man. And that's why I'm like, no, it might be a decent game. Probably not, it's Naughty Dog. I mean, it'll be a wonderful movie and a poor game.
Yeah.
Naughty Dog makes cinematic movies that have playable scenes.
New Elden Ring multiplayer game. Now this
I'm more.
Yeah, it's a co-op action game. Apparently, you can have up to 3 players. They're set characters to pull from.
Yeah, like you don't make your own character. It's not an RPG. It's a dynamic play. Every time you play through it, it's supposed to randomize the elements. So it's more of a like, you know, those games you play where you go in and you're just doing this to go from A to B to C, and then the next time it's different and it's different. It doesn't look like it's going to have a story as much as it's going to be you get with your friends and you do a run. A run. You do an instant, you do a run.
Looks beautiful, though, man.
The main thing for the fans out there, because we do got to pick this up.
That looks cool, that character.
I'm going to play that guy.
Yeah. I don't know. We might fight for it.
Oh, they have a caster, and I'll be the caster. But it's also fast-paced. The main thing that's been catching people's eyes is that looked like the fire speaker, even though this is set in the Elden Ring universe. You're in the Elden Ring universe. And then there's the, I think it's called the Unnamed King. So a lot of people are going, is Dark Souls and Elden Ring literally crossing over? That's caught his eyes. I hope you can play as that. That might be an enemy, but if I can play as a caster, I want to play as a caster. People can't tell if that's a playable character or not. Because there is a non-human. One of the characters is actual, like, Hawkman that can fly. Yeah, there he is right there. So it looks interesting, but I don't know nearly enough to judge it. I'm going to be watching it. I'll let you know. But because it's coming out in 2025, it's not that far off.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they did pretty good action with Armored Core 6, but these people's co-op has been pretty trash. So I'm really curious how they're going to handle co-op. I'm just being honest, dude. I've tried to play co-op in Elden Ring and in Dark Souls. It was a miserable experience every time. But I'm sure you can't be invaded in this game, so at least that's solved.
Yeah. Oh, we had a Virtua Fighter game actually announced.
My friend Houston is super hyped for this. He is apparently a Virtua Fighter fan. I told him I'd give it a spin. Oh, apparently there's going to be a free access test. You can go sign up now. Oh, okay. I'm probably going to give it a try. Because we need a fighting game. I mean, Tekken's all we got. You know, their great idea for a new idea is Claw. I'm sorry, I got stuff tripping. Claw. Not Squall. Not Cloud. You know, not Tifa. Not Zell. Not Sabin. Not Kane. No, Clive is the character they went with.
Oh, yeah, we ain't there yet. That's
Clive.
Man, you want me to skip way ahead? You jumping over to Clive?
Is that even in here? I don't even think that was in. I thought we just looked that up and found that out. That ain't a big talking point.
Then there's an Okami sequel.
It doesn't show a lot, but I'm curious. I liked Okami. It was fun.
Now this was the big one for Blood. I hate Blood missing this.
We're not sure what to think though. He's the same way as me. I can tell you his opinion. Yeah. We talked about it. We don't know what the hell's going on. And all of us want to play the same Vault Hunter, so that's going to be a problem. There's going to be 4 of the same guy running around. There's only one of the Vault Hunters looks like you want to play. And I'm sorry that would appeal to us as a playable character. But I have a theory. And we got to hear it because we are behind. I got to go pick up son. So, but I have a theory. I think they switched what this was about. This was Iridian's, man. They even said it was supposed to be a direct follow-up to the previous. That dude looks badass. And with the robot arm, I'm hoping he has some cool abilities for that arm. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, cool thing is Borderlands, we all can play them. But like, I'm not really interested in Thunder Thighs and whatever the heck the other two are, because I'm sorry, compared to him, they just look soft. Like, look at that. That's a Vault Hunter. That looks like a Vault Hunter. But I don't even have a robot this time, or a non-human. And Thunder Thighs ain't doing it for me. I don't know why they proportioned her like that, dude. Her legs are bigger than her whole body. Now, that's the other dude, and the beam swords look cool. I think that's the other guy.
Yeah.
All right, I do like melee. Maybe I could run melee. And I don't know nothing about the Siren. They don't show you anything, really, which is odd. I mean, that's not anything. But, no, I have to check with my boy Kit today. He'll run the Siren, but, they didn't stand out as much, I feel, visually as a
I mean, from what I've gotten, there's been very mixed reviews. But, yeah, the people against it pretty much just say, they don't really stick out as much. And
like I said, I think they changed the story because the previous trailer was implying the Iridians. They said all this stuff in the trailer implying the Iridians. You saw the planet with the fire, bird on it, and then it just goes, oh, it's a warless planet between these two factions. One's robots and the other's psychos, and you're like, that has nothing to do with what we were talking about at all. Are those battle axes?
That looks like battle axes.
Did they take some stuff from Wonderlands? Hey, man, good melee combat I can get into. I'm that weirdo who likes to bring a, he's throwing them. I might try that guy out. Good. You might get your big boy. I like the weapons. I like melee style stuff.
Which guy?
That's obviously the beam guy.
That's the...
No, watch both hands. Oh, well, dang it.
That looked like a robot.
No, you're right. Arm. It did. So I guess we're playing that guy. Then screw you. If he can throw battle axes, I want to play him. So there might literally be nothing but matches of people playing the same character. This has got everybody. There's like 4 of that one dude in every match. But I think they changed the story. Because this has not, like I even said, you wouldn't know this was a Borderlands game if you didn't see the Psycho mask.
Yeah.
There's no real correlation. Now, does it look good? Yes. Does it look like I'd be willing to try it? I don't see any red flags. Because it also looks grittier, but it looks like it's also not going to get weird like 3 and Wonderlands did.
All right, next up we have Outer Worlds 2.
Who cares?
I'm actually interested in this. They could do well with this, dude. I didn't hate the first Outer Worlds.
I didn't hate it.
It could have been better. And they sort of make a joke about that in here. They're like, hey,
we're going to put all the stuff that should have been in the first one.
Put it. Yeah, they're like, we're really good at making number 2s.
Yeah, we know how to fix those games that weren't made right the first time. They do say that. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. It was you. And they're like, yeah, don't worry. We're good at that second one. I still like they tried to call the other one, too. They're like, and then we did Fallout New Vegas. 2?
Fallout 3, 2.
Fallout 3, 2.
New Vegas?
New Vegas. But, like, this is what they're good at, but they're going to have to make big changes for me, not small.
No, I agree. But I
don't mean to.
My reason why I am anticipating the game is not because I have trust in the company or the game or anything like that. It's because I like sci-fi comedy. And that sci-fi with that comedy twist like that is something I've enjoyed.
I love a good game with some black humor in it.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they need to make changes I don't think they're going to make because they've gotten lazy.
Yeah.
The problem isn't Outer Worlds is that bad. It's Avowed. That's all I say one word, Avowed.
It's the concept that I like.
Dude, if they went and did the New Vegas after it got fixed up treatment on Outer Worlds, I'd be all into it. I would. I still consider New Vegas one of the best Fallout games ever created and one of the best games, period. I haven't seen them do that again. I was hoping Avowed would be that for fantasy. Doesn't look like it. I hope Outer Worlds will be that for sci-fi, but maybe Avowed 2. Maybe Avowed 2. Maybe it is number 2 is when they get it right. So.
Hey, Mafia, the old country. The Mafia games have
They have a fan base.
I've tried to play a couple of them. They reminded me of GTA Mafia. I mean,
they're not bad. I've played them, but not at full price.
Yeah. No, the Mafia game I played on Game Pass.
Game Pass,
yeah. Split Fiction is
Split Fiction.
Yeah. It is about these two writers who one's a sci-fi writer, one's a fantasy writer, and apparently a white dude has stolen.
An evil corporate white dude
stole their stories, so now they're having to go through their stories to reclaim them.
I'm sorry we said it like that, but watch the trailer. You'll know why we did it. I'll apologize. That was toxic.
Yeah.
But we watched the trailer. You sit through the whole thing, see how you feel.
Then you got the rematch. Thick as Thieves
looks like interesting, like taking the PvP competing and completing an objective, but turning it into a thief game instead of violent. Interesting. For once, you're not trying to kill the other person. You're actually trying to steal something and get them caught while you don't get caught.
Dispatch was just
Telltale.
It's a Telltale game, but it was sort of funny. watching.
Oh no, the humor was pretty good, but it's
not my type of game.
You don't play it. It's another. You pick dialogue choices. It appears. It's Telltale games, as you know, aren't really played. They're navigated.
Yeah, Onimusha's back. So they have.
We didn't see a lot, but I am curious.
Yeah, I want to see more. I want to see more.
Flynn and me played on Onimusha back in the day.
Yeah.
Like we played through all of them.
No, from the original on PlayStation 2, 2001. Yeah, so 23 years ago. But yeah, no, I mean, I watched the trailer. It was interesting. I want to see more.
I need to
before
see
I can decide anything.
Gameplay.
Yeah. New side scroller, Ninja Gaiden.
Brought back old trauma. We talked about how hard the original was, and he said, I might try it. I said, I beat Ninja Gaiden back in the day. I did my time. You know what I'm saying? I'm off of active duty. I ain't playing that hard ass platformer again.
And that's that. I mean, that's the highlights from the Game Awards.
Is it a shame that the most promising thing actually kind of is Borderlands 4 and Night Rain? Like that's it. Borderlands 4 and Night Rain are probably my most anticipated games that got shown.
Yeah,
got shown. I've got more anticipated games than that, but of the ones they covered.
In the South. Quick update from last week. We had a story about the Skeleton Crew episode 3. A lot of people complaining because they said they were going to introduce, two lesbian mothers. And they did get introduced, but from what I understand, it was a flyby, which to me is fine. Don't preach at me. I don't care.
We said we'd let you know. The statement that it was in there is true.
Yeah.
But it's also been stated to be very non-intrusive. supposedly. And the fact that we tried to find stories of people covering it and nobody did, and it happened 4 days ago, says it was a non-issue. It wasn't in your face enough that anybody even seemed to care to cover it.
Comicbook.news says, naturally this race current is giving the backlash to the Acolyte. However, the good news is that you won't even realize the moms are a couple. There are no life lessons, lectures, or agendas presented.
In 10 seconds.
The scene lasts about 10 seconds. So.
Now, I will devil's advocate. But note, I'm saying devil's advocate. It is not completely unreasonable to also say, if that's all you were going to do, you could have not done it.
Well, no, it's one of those things where I think Disney couldn't help themselves. They
Well,
still
that's
had
my
to.
thing. If anyone else had done it, I wouldn't even say that. But it's Disney, who has had a lot of conflict.
Well, once again, dude, to me, that does not bother me. I'm all for that. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Now, I know some people, that it does bother. That's why we mention it,
Well, I mean, some people,
when it comes to their kids, they don't want them to have anything,
they
do
really
with that.
don't. And it is a kid's show.
So,
And and it is a kid's show.
Yeah.
No, I put it on my black hat. I don't care. I don't think it was a big deal that it's in a kid's show as much if it was that way. But I also, if you were to ask me, well, if you had a choice for it to be in there and not be in there with no consequence to what you say, and I'd go, not. But my reason why is just because, why offend anybody? You didn't help anybody by it being in there. You only created a scenario that may make, I think, Muslims or other certain religions have to go, well, now I can't watch it. And I'm always going to say, I'd rather, not offend people than offend people just to make one or two people happy. Because why? It's a show, but in my defense, what did I say earlier? It's entertainment. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
Your show doesn't need to try to teach me how to live my life. Okay, well, let me put that in correct terms. There's shows for that. Star Wars Skeleton Crew's not it. It's a kid's show. It doesn't need to try to go, you should be, Doesn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Now,
Anyway.
it ain't a big deal, though.
Yeah. Anyway, to wrap us all up, I think we're going to skip this one, but we may talk about it next week as
We'll get more information on it.
Yeah, it is ongoing, but there is a lawsuit with Lisa McConty and Smash JT, which is ongoing and has,
you
has
should see her lawyers.
sparked a lot of things, and we'll give you more on that next week, so be sure to tune in.
You need to look up her lawyer. Oh, my God, it's exactly what you think. It's bad.
Right.
Oh, God.
We'll talk more about that next week.
Ma'am. It's ma'am, Your Honor.
We will talk more about that next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to go to Dicejunkies.com where you find links everywhere we're online, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
I'm canceled.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And as always,
come back to see me get sued by